Good morning, students.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Okay, fine, sir.
You know that in the last session I was dealing with conquered. Conquered.
You are absent.
That's why you don't know what is that. Conquered. It's all about agreement between the subject and the verb, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Of course, because of the weekend, holidays on Saturday and Sunday, you might have forgotten to some extent. Let me remind you of the concept called conquered one more time, and then I'll go ahead. You know, that day I was giving you many examples about how the agreement is missing between the subject and the verb. For instance, when you look at a sentence like Reshma know it well. Francis, do you think that this is the correct sentence?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. What is the subject in that?
Rashma is the subject.
What is the verb?
No.
No is the verb. Okay. Nagarjuna,
Yes, sir.
do you think this is the correct sentence?
I think it's good. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Look at one more sentence. Reshma or a student. Murali, do you think this is an appropriate sentence? Reshma or a student?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know. Okay, no problem. Rajkiran.
I think the first statement is correct, sir.
Yeah.
Rashma know it well, but Rashma are a student.
Any problem with that?
I am not sure about this.
You are not sure. Okay, Shiva, what do you think?
It is wrong,
So,
sir.
both sentences are correct or some sentence is wrong?
Rashma know it well is correct, sir.
Okay,
Rashma as a student is wrong, sir.
why?
Rashma was a student, correct.
Okay, next one was a student. Why should it be verse? Why not it are?
Because Rashma is a girl, so it should be was.
Right. Is a subject Reshma singular or plural?
Singular.
Singular. Okay. Singular subject is followed by singular verb or plural verb?
Sir, you wrote excuse.
Singular
sir.
Bakara.
The spelling of Reshma is wrongly written, sir.
Okay. So, singular subject is followed by singular verb.
Yes.
So, this word are is not correct.
Yes, sir.
But I think we can write verse because that is a singular verb. It can be is or verse depending on the context, depending on the tense. Coming to this sentence, Reshma know it well. What are the forms of know? Francis?
What forms?
No. Any other forms with regard to know?
New.
Do very good.
No. Known.
Known. Fine.
Knowing. Knowing.
Knowing. Okay. Any other words? Rajkiran.
Nose.
Knows.
Unknown.
Unknown is different because we are adding an a prefix to that and making it a different word that doesn't belong to this category. So, know, knew, known, knowing. Can we call it a verb?
Yes, sir.
Can you frame a sentence using this knowing? It should be used as a verb.
Yes, sir.
I am knowing his address.
I am knowing his address.
I am knowing Rashma.
I am knowing?
Reshma.
Okay, in one of the classes I told you the word no should not be used in continuous form or progressive tense. So we cannot say I am knowing Reshma or I am knowing you. So this is ruled out. In the same way, knowing is not a full verb. You said I am knowing. I am knowing is full verb, not just knowing. So this can be removed. Known. Can we use known without a helping verb? No, we cannot. So this can be ruled out. New.
Maybe possible.
Possible. What is the tense form?
Nude.
Tense form, present or past? Past tense. So we are talking about present form, right? Also we are talking about conquered, agreement between the subject and the verb. Let's not discuss anything related to past forms. So this can be ruled out. Known is again
No, sir. That is
knows. So we can take either no or knows. No is already written. You are saying that that is a correct sentence.
Yes, sir.
If I say she knew it, she knows it, which is correct?
She knows it. Is
She knows it. Why? Because subject is
singular.
singular. Singular subject is followed by singular verb. That's what we call agreement between the subject and the verb. Here, Reshma is a singular subject, so it should be followed by knows. Reshma know it well, or Reshma sings well. So, what is conquered? Let me give you the definition again because it was given the other day. Conquered means the agreement between the subject and the verb. The subject is singular, the verb should be singular. The subject is plural, the verb should be plural. The child goes to school. The children go to school, isn't it? So, this is what I dealt with in the last class, conquered. Now, let me take you to the next point, that is, I am going to deal with one of the varieties of conquered. That is, conquered of proximity. So this is the topic I am going to deal with in this class. Conquered of proximity, or you can also say conquered by proximity. It is always called proximity conquered. There are three names. What is a conquered of proximity? You know conquered. Conquered means grammatical agreement between the subject and the verb. I am dealing with one of the varieties of conquered, that is conquered of proximity. What is this? See, Francis, can you frame a sentence using either or? Either me. Is it okay to say me?
Okay, sir.
Okay. If there is any correction, we will do that later. Either me. Okay.
Or Siva.
Or Siva. What did you do? Did you go to movie?
Yes.
Either me or Siva.
Go to movie. Went to movie. That is right.
Fine. Let's use present tense forms, because if we use past tense form, the concord cannot be achieved. Okay. Go.
Go to movie.
Movie. Fine. In this sentence, you can see how many subjects are there. Nagarjuna, how many subjects are there?
I think two subjects.
What are they?
Shiva and me.
Shiva and me. Fine. Who is the one doing the action? Rajkiran? Who is going to movie? Both of them are going?
Sir, both.
Both of them are going? Okay. Vijaya? Who is going to movie?
Both of them are going, sir.
Okay, fine. Murali, can you give me the Telugu meaning of this sentence? That means how many are going? One or two? Both of them are going, or only one is going? Two are going. But you said in Telugu, Nenu gaani, Siva gaani movie ki veltunnam. What does that mean?
Only operator.
Only one, right? So, subject singular or plural?
Singular.
Singular. So, subject is singular. Rajkiran, subject is singular, not plural, mind you.
Yes, sir.
So, only one is going to movie. So here, either me or Shiva, let me correct this first. It's not either me or Shiva, it's a Shiva or I. This is something we discussed in one of the classes, right? Either Shiva or I goes to movie. Now, in this sentence, we need to check this particular idea, concord of proximity. That means when in a sentence where two subjects are combined or where two subjects are used, one is with one kind of pronoun, the other one is another pronoun, then we need to use appropriate verb form, right? See this. Either Shiva or I is here or here. One sentence. Either Shiva or I go to movie, goes to movie.
Goes to.
Let's do this first. Either Shiva or I is or I. Let me add
Yam.
Yam also. Yam is or. Which is appropriate?
Yam is.
Yam is appropriate. Can't we write is, I is?
We don't use.
We don't say. Can't we say I are?
No.
We don't say because I is followed by Yam. Then what about this Shiva? Shiva is here, so we can write Shiva is. But we are not doing that. The reason is when we have a sentence where two subjects are joined by a conjunction, a coordinating correlative conjunction, then we need to take into account the subject that is close to the verb. Which subject is close to the verb? Is it Shiva or I?
I.
This is close to the verb. So we should go with I. So this is what we call concord of proximity. Proximity means nearness. Okay, got the point? Fine. Let's have a look at one more sentence. Shiva, can you frame one more sentence with neither nor?
Neither Sita nor Rama
Okay.
went to forest.
Use it in present tense, preferably, because if we use it in past tense, we don't find appropriate explanation for this concord of proximity. Neither Sita nor Rama
Likes Ravana.
like Ravana. The actual meaning is, what is the meaning of this? Murali? You can give it in Telugu. What is the meaning?
సీతా రామ ఇద్దరికి కూడా రాముడిని అంటే ఇష్టం లేదు.
Okay, they don't like
రావణ.
Ravana. Okay. So here, Shiva gave the two subjects in singular form, Sita and Rama. If at all we use one of the subjects in plural form, right? For instance, neither Rama nor his subjects. Here subjects means people. Okay? Not the subjects that you study. Neither Rama nor his subjects. Now tell me, is it like or likes?
Likes.
Likes.
Likes. Okay. You want to go with likes. Do you agree with this? Likes or like?
Yes, sir, likes.
Likes. What is the subject here? This subject is singular or plural?
Singular.
This subject is plural. What is the rule? The rule of proximity is that when we have one singular subject and one plural subject joined by a conjunction, either or, neither nor, the verb goes with the subject that is close to it. This is the verb. What is the subject close to it? His subjects or noun?
Is that?
His subject. So this is the subject we need to consider, not the earlier one. The later subject is to be considered. So his subject is plural. So what should we write?
Likes, plural.
Likes is not plural.
Likes, singular, likes, plural.
You're talking about talking on the account of nouns. Books, right? Fans. That's a separate arrangement as far as nouns are concerned. With regard to verb, if there is yes, that is plural. Yes or IES. If there is no adding to that, that will be called a plural. Right? So his subjects like Ravana. Okay? Rajkaran, a simple task. Frame one more sentence using either or, neither nor, or on. Yes, you can do it.
Neither my
Very good.
neither my mother or
Neither
my mother
my mother
nor my father
nor my father
likes me.
like is already used. Why don't you go for another verb?
Beats.
Loves
Love,
loves me.
loves. Okay. If I ask you to use the subjects in two different ways, one is singular, the other one is plural, can you make some changes? Either neither my mother nor my father, that's what you are given. I would like to see subjects in two forms. One is singular, the other one is plural.
Neither my brother nor my neither my mother nor my brothers.
Okay, good. Brothers. Again, here we can see my mother is a singular subject, my brothers is a plural subject. So, automatically we need to take the subject that is close to the verb. So, brothers is close to the verb, so we go with love. Okay, let me give you one example. Either his brakes or either his brakes or eyesight is worse or at fault. Look at this sentence. Either his brakes, right, or his eyesight is worse or at fault. Which one can we take? Which verb is appropriate as far as sentence completion is concerned? Verse. You want to go with this?
Yes.
The whole class agrees to that?
I think it's is.
Is. There is mixed response. Okay, let me write one more sentence. Either James or his workers were is or were at work yesterday. For this sentence, which option do you take?
Ask.
Why?
Because earlier you said that we use are.
Okay.
Varun, when you say yesterday,
So plural subject. So you follow this and write this are. Then what about this?
Yes, sir.
You should consider the tense also. Yesterday. So it talks about past action. So the right one is were. For this, is there any connection to the tense? No. It's a plain sentence. So we need not go for is or was. We can go for are. Fine. So
Eyesight or at false.
either is breaks or eyesight
Eyesight is this.
sorry,
Eyesight no, sir.
is at fault. So this is the subject we take and write a singular verb.
Even we can use was also.
We can use was, but where is the context? Context referring to past time. There is nothing like that. So let's go with present form. If at all, either is breaks or eyesight dash at fault while driving yesterday. Then the context is very clear. The speaker is talking about something happened in the past. So is correct. So this is what we call conquered by proximity, where two different subjects are used. One is singular, the other one is plural, and the two subjects are coordinated by correlative conjunctions like either or, neither nor, sometimes or, sometimes not only but also, and sentences are framed that way. So what we should do is, we should take into consideration the subject that is close to the verb. If the subject is singular, go for singular verb. Subject is plural, go for plural. Now there is a task for you. I would like to see you in pairs. This is for pair 1, pair 2, pair 3. In the given handout, there are 6 sentences. In the 6 sentences, you come across 2 or 3 options. Only one option is appropriate for sentence completion. Please tick that. The second task is writing at least constructing one sentence in a similar fashion. You do it at the back of the sheet. Very good. Well done. Just a moment. We'll discuss the answers. In case of the sentence, constructing a sentence, you can do it. You can give it early. Yes. Now the pair Nagarjuna and Murali, can you please read out 2 sentences, and in the place where you need to choose the right word, use it dash and give it the 2 words. First one.
Either John or his brothers are bringing the dessert.
Okay. John is singular, brothers is plural. So plural verb is needed. So you went with second sentence.
In my opinion, neither the players nor the coach deserves the prize for the result of the match.
Okay. Neither the players nor the coach. Players plural, coach is singular.
Deserves.
Deserves. Singular subject, singular verb. Then Shiva.
Neither the vice principal nor the teachers honor the principal.
Okay. Again, singular subject, plural subject.
Plural subject followed by the
Okay.
verbs.
Your answer is
Honor.
honor.
Honor the principal.
Okay. Your sentence, Francis.
This
Anyone?
Neither looks nor clothes makes the person.
Okay. Neither looks nor
Clothes,
clothes or cloth.
clothes,
Clothes.
clothes makes the person.
Clothes, is it singular or plural?
Clothes, plural.
Then is it make or makes?
Make.
Make, not makes. Because plural subject is followed by plural verb. Yes, Raj Kiran. Your turn.
Neither the students nor the teacher was present in the auditorium for last week's council.
Neither the students, plural,
nor the teacher
singular.
was present in the auditorium for last week's council.
Why should we use was? Why should not it be is?
Because last week said
We are talking about last week action. Fine. Next, your partner.
Neither Kiran nor the personal assistants have had the keys to the stationery cupboard.
Okay. Kiran is singular. His assistants is plural. We have options like have, had, has.
So it
Have, because second subject is plural. Okay. So the second task can be done by you at home. Okay. Thank you. Well done. That's all. I think I took some 7 or 8 minutes extra, sir. I gave more number of examples, or I made them give a few examples. I started writing them on the board. There I spent a good deal of time. That's one area where I could have restricted myself with a few examples. Second one is I could not give more tasks. I could give them only one task. One task. I thought of making them complete the second task also, that is constructing sentences on the point of conquered by proximity. But as I was running out of time, I asked them to do it at home. These are my observations.
Okay. Nagarajan, what is your feedback to?
Sir, the session was so good, sir. You interacted with your students well. Your voice is clear and your body language also very good. You had no tension or nervousness while you were explaining the topic. They are the positive points. And coming to negative points, you mixed up two topics, sir. One is subject verb agreement you first started. Then we came to the next topic, that is concord of proximity. These are two topics in this micro teaching.
No, my idea is concord was already dealt in the last session. For the sake of making them recap, what I lectured the other day, I spent some time on that.
My opinion is, instead of spending on the topic, you might have spent for at least 5 minutes on the topic. Instead of that, you can directly start. You must have started this topic directly. That is my opinion.
Okay.
You can skip that topic.
Concord should have been skipped, and I should have.
That is one point, sir. Another point is, you must have started with pronouns and verbs. For example, first person singular, I. What is the verb, suitable verb or helping verb to the I? So I am, we say I am. You are, we are. But we don't say we is. We don't say we am. So in that way you must have explained in detailed way. But you gave only one sentence, she knows or she knew, and then little bit you diverted the topic to verbs. Instead of saying verbs, my technique, sir, just I want to give suggestions.
Okay.
Instead of giving directly the sentence, you must have given what are the pronouns. For example, I, what is the helping verb? We, what is the helping verb? We are. So students can easily say the answers. That is my opinion, sir.
Okay.
One point is mixing up two topics. One is subject verb agreement, another one is concord of proximity. Two topics you explained in this lesson. In the same way, instead of giving simple sentences, I am, we are, they are, she is. For subject she, we use is. Instead of giving such examples, my opinion, sir, you just complicated the sentences.
Okay.
And the other one is, even you must have given the differences between either or, neither or. And you use neither meaning. You must have given the meaning of neither nor, either or. You asked the Murali Krishna, what do you call in Telugu? But you yourself must have given Telugu meaning. So either or has positive meaning, neither nor has negative meaning. Use with negative meaning. For example, either or, anyone. Neither nor means nobody. Like that, you must have given hints to the students. This is the other point I have said. you must have given some more activities. You must have planned for that.
Okay.
Okay, so that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, JB, the beginning of your session was really cool. You were relaxed, cool, and then a lot of ease when you started the session. And then the same tempo was continued throughout the session as well. But coming to the middle of the session, actually, you also fell into the trap of teacher talking, then taking much time to explain the concept or sticking onto the board. So as I was doing, I found you doing the same again. Okay. And then the examples that you were giving to the students, they were also a bit confusing. Like at one point, Francis said, why can't we use the past form of the verb? So where you have written the same sentence there, either his breaks or eyesight. No context is given. It's a free sentence. There is a possibility of using the other way also. You are just only is the right one there. And was also is right in the context. Their justification has not been done in a convincing way to the students. Because even after raising the doubt, you were still with only one point because there is no context. You said it rightly, there is no context. So then both have to be accepted there. Why only go with the present form? So same way you also given the example here. The third example also is related to the same concept. And then throughout the session there was odd noise you were making. So it's clearing your throat. You would have taken some a little bit of water and then continue your session. But that sound was a bit odd during the session. Adjusting your throat and then continuing your session. So that was a filler actually when students are asking you some questions or when you are about to write a sentence, you are using it as a filler.
So it was maybe it's a mannerism.
Can be so, sir.
What is that filler?
That sound you are using, you are making. Right from the beginning it was.
See the video.
Okay, but other than that, right, as I said, voice is very clear, audible, you are audible, and then presence of mind, whenever your students are a bit naughty, you may try to deal with that in a controlled way. So, it was good.
Okay, it was a traditional lesson, Jayaprakash. We went about it systematically, right? But in a real class, it wouldn't have worked because there were quite a lot of laborious explanations. When the tendency is to use discourse level examples in the English classroom nowadays, we used only sentence level examples. It was pointed out by Rajkumar also. It's apt to mislead people. So discourse level examples. I think you also made the same mistake. Examples could be discourse level examples. In a discourse level example, things would be contextualized. Teaching would be easier. But all these sentences were examples were sentence level examples. And then you seem to be fond of jargon, concord of proximity, and then coordinating, correlating conjunction. Why all this? Concord means agreement. You could have used that simple word agreement, right? And then you said, the last class, last period, I taught you concord. You would have tried to find out from them what concord means. Instead, you were explaining. Concord means agreement. You have taught it already. You could have tried to find out whether they had understood certain things in concord. It's also missing. Then at some places you were giving the answers yourself. I'll give you an example. Or is okay, but look at the time. Time is yesterday, so or should not be used. Where should be used? You could have asked them. Look at the example is here, right? When did the action take place? Action took place yesterday. What's the time? Past. Some time now. We could have given students some opportunity to exercise their language. When did it take place? Yesterday. Present time or past time, they would say past time. Then using a present tense form of the verb, would it be appropriate? Then let them say, yes, yes, a past tense form should be used, and so on. But you were supplying the answers yourself. Right? This is a classroom tendency. We teachers, we ask questions, we give the answers also. This is an old tendency among teachers. Right? And then, yes, Nagaraj, you pointed it out, two things were mixed up. When the intention was to teach concord of proximity, why waste quite a lot of time on no, new, no, knowing, knows, and so on? That was not necessary.
They made me go out of the track.
Yeah, you fell into the trap.
So I
Use a
was
sentence. I mean, give me a sentence using knowing. Quite a lot of explanations also you were giving. Knowing is not an independent verb. And so you fell into the trap and you proceeded to a different domain. All that could have been avoided. The focus could have been on this, and the approach could have been communicated. Grammar itself is very confusing. And if it is taught in a traditional way like this, instead of in a communicative way, at least you could have used discourse level examples in which things were contextualized. That would have had a better effect on the students. Actually, the class was laborious. Students were getting bored not just because of your teaching. They had already had 3 micro lessons, 2 lessons. This was the 3rd period, and it was getting very hot too. That was another reason. But an activity-oriented teaching would have beaten the heat out of the classroom. Okay? Right.